So Mark, thank you for joining us at Chief Data and Analytics Officer 2018. Could you start with giving us a little bit of background about yourself and what you do at the First National Bank of South Africa?
Thank you very much. My name is Mark Nasila. I work for the First National Bank in South Africa. The First National Bank is a subsidiary of the First Rand Group in South Africa. I'm the head of advanced analytics in the bank, and my main function is to run a central team that collaboratively work with different product areas as well as businesses within the bank to derive value from data, solve different problems, as well as make sure we use our data to create efficiencies in the organization, increase revenue, and cut operational costs.
So now we're into February. What key things do you think will come to the forefront in data and analytics in 2018?
My biggest one is driving an outcome-based analytics strategy. In the past few years, we've been speaking about the culture of data and analytics, managing data, governing data. And a lot of organizations have invested a lot of money in platforms, analytics, software, employed a lot of data scientists, and at this time we're keen to derive value and show value from all these initiatives.
What would you say are and have been the key barriers and challenges in data and analytics in 2018?
The culture around the value from data, understanding the real value of data and tying it into the business strategy. So initially, data was seen as just an enabler, but right now data is the biggest asset of any organization, as it's used to quantify the risk involved in what the business is offering. It's used to inform the business as well as those driving the strategy of the organization. And it's used to actually enable an organization realize its main objectives.
How far into your data and analytics strategy are you within your organization?
So it varies depending on what business problems we're solving. So we have a very traditional credit foundation, so we're very mature there. In fact, we already driving advanced real-time capabilities around the use of data to assess customers for credit risk, market products to customers at the right time. We've also done very well in using data and analytics to make sure we're compliant with regulatory risk requirements. Not just being compliant, but also being accurate in assessing those risks, such as money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. There are new requirements now from regulators, such as common reporting standards. We have international offerings, so we're also subject to the GDPR requirements, which we're making sure we use our data and analytics to show that we are compliant.
What are the primary objectives for your data and analytics strategy within your organization for the coming year?
So to us, data is information that represents who our clients are, what they prefer, who they're going to be, both in the short-term and long-term future. And we're using data to basically build trust with our clients, making sure we offer them products at the right time in line with what they need. We're using data to create efficiencies of how we operationally run processes that enable the customers use our products. We're using data to manage and how we engage with our customers, make them easy for them to use our products, as well as use the processes we've set up for them to transact, for example, with our online platforms, with our app, as well as our customer interactive platforms like the chat. We're also using data and analytics to protect our customers, making sure we score transactions for fraud, making sure we score customers to understand what is the intention of why they want to be in the organization. because we want to protect the bank, the integrity and the reputation of the bank. So think about your neighborhood. You stay in your neighborhood because your neighborhood is safe. It's got a reputation of being safe. So we want to use data to make sure our bank is that bank where everyone wants to come to, because it's a safe place to bank with.
What software tools, platforms and services will you be evaluating in the next 6 to 12 months?
So we've always interacted with different vendors to try and understand what they offer that could tie into what we're trying to achieve with our data strategy. At the moment, we have a foundation of SaaS Analytics, which is our main analytics platform. There's a lot of work going on with analytics in R, which is an open source, to provide us flexibility. We also have a lot of analysts in the bank using Python, and the solutions are the same. It depends on what they prefer. But we have a Hadoop cluster, which is used to manage our data. We have some IBM products, which we're using for making sure we aggregate big data sets, as well as automate complex algorithms. For example, the non-parametric models, the random forests, which are very difficult to actually operationalize when you do not have so much high computing power.
What do you think is the key thing or things that have revolutionized the data and analytics industry so far?
The key one was making sure we structure and put together a collaborative culture that makes everyone understand that they're contributing towards the same cause in data and analytics for the bank, so that we do not have a silo system which kind of wastes a lot of resources and time for the bank. By creating that centralized culture, we've had almost a perfect value proposition from where we define our business problems, define what sources of data we need to solve those problems, have different analysts work together to solve those problems, and also have an environment where we can run proof of concepts to show that there is value, and also involve the right IT and platform systems people to drive the implementation of this project so that we can realize the value quicker. And lastly, finish by having a feedback loop to businesses to show the value that has been generated from these initiatives.
How do you think the data and analytics landscape will change over, say, the next year, 2 years, and even into 2020 and beyond?
I would say one of the biggest changes will be the time it takes to gain value. For any organization, in the past few years, we've realized events change so much faster. Technology is changing so much faster, improving. The computing power is becoming more aggressive. And so it should take much shorter to actually show and implement value from analytics as compared to what we have. And this is basically attributed to the fact that the problems we're solving are also changing much faster than we think. In fact, if you delay, the problem you're solving will be a different problem, so your solution might be a bit redundant by the time you're actually implementing it. So we might have to speed up on the time it takes to actually implement some of these initiatives.
Why did you choose to enter the data and analytics industry?
I've always had a passion for using data to solve problems since when I was young. In fact, I wanted to become an actuary, but I took the path to pursue a degree in statistics, and I did a PhD in statistics, which has given me the ability to create a connection between real-life problems and data and algorithms used to actually solve these problems. And throughout this journey, data gives me an opportunity to actually quantify and measure my involvement with using all these initiatives to solve different problems.
If you were granted one wish to change something within the data and analytics industry, what would that wish be?
I wouldn't call it necessarily change. I would call it enhancement. I would enhance the ability to collaborate and make sure different parties in the data and analytics value chain work together to realize value much quicker. And I think if a lot of organizations are to adopt that type of culture, they will benefit more, because what is holding back a lot of organizations is the lack of a culture that allows people to work together and let everyone contribute in this whole journey of data and analytics.
What has been your toughest lesson and biggest challenge to date within data and analytics?
You need to work with people. You need to understand that you're not contributing. You need to understand that your contribution works together with contributions from other people to give a bigger value in the whole process. So it's essential that one sets their mind towards working and collaborating with other areas, because no one can do this by themselves. As well as the success will come from one's ability to venture into a journey of where you don't know. You can't succeed when you keep doing the same thing. So we need to equip ourselves with a mindset that we're venturing into an area we don't know, and that's what innovation is all about.
Why did you decide to be a keynote speaker at Chief Data and Analytics Officer 2018?
In this space, you succeed through learning. And I've come to this event for a couple of years now, and I've always learned a lot, especially from the speakers who are around. The people who attend the conference are the ones who are involved in these processes. It's difficult to learn from people who are selling the product, but this event brings experts. It brings people with backgrounds from an involvement perspective, so you learn a lot from their failures, from their successes, and that whole experience and feedback, we use them to actually improve on what we're doing.
How important to you are events like Chief Data and Analytics Officer 2018, and how important is it to bring the data and analytics industry together at events like this?
It is just basically one, from a knowledge sharing perspective. A lot of people struggle within the organization because they are responsible for the whole initiative. But through an event like this, people are able to interact and share the technical issues, share the cultural problems that are stopping them from progressing much faster, but also to get buy-in of the risks one should take to be able to succeed, because some of the guys have already taken those risks, they've succeeded, they've learned from them, and those lessons are important because they kind of enable you shorten how much investment you would make in order to succeed going forward.
So Mark, thank you very much indeed for talking to me this afternoon and answering my questions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me and your
you.
time as well.